The silent film, Birth of a Nation, will be shown at Rome's Capitol Theater next week. That's despite objections by members of the community who are upset with the 1915 film's positive portrayal of the Ku Klux Klan. The Capitol Theater's director says while there is no doubt the film does have racist elements, it is important to show because of the director's innovative use of filming. An agreement has been reached so that viewers 16 and under must be accompanied by an adult, and there will be a panel discussion held immediately afterwards.
Panel discussion will begin in about 5 minutes.
Klansmen ride to the rescue of the film's imperiled heroine as she is threatened by lust-crazed black men.
Black Americans reacted to Birth of the Nation with horror, with protest, with demonstrations. It was an assault on black America at a time when there were no depictions of black people as human beings. This depicted us as beasts and depicted these criminals.
President Woodrow Wilson screened the epic in the White House. "It is like writing history with lightning," the president said. "My only regret is that it is also terribly true." To home, Simmons mapped out the vehicle of control in a manual called the Koran. The handbook described the Klan's secret rites, rituals, and oaths. It defined the meanings of strange names created for Klan ceremonies, regents, and officers. Simmons bestowed upon himself the title of Imperial Wizard, Emperor of the Invisible Empire. But Klan publicists devised a sales pitch based on the slogan, 100% Americanism. The new Klan would be a patriotic organization for American-born white Protestants only. It was no longer enough for the Klan to be anti-black. It now added Jews, Catholics, and immigrants to its list of enemies.
My name is Ishmael, and I drove down from Syracuse, New York, and I would be remiss if I did not share some of the words of how I feel about this particular film, particularly being shown in the 315 area code. I feel obligated to have to speak up to at least give my perspective and my point of view. What I noticed was this, to elaborate a little bit on what the professor was talking about earlier, was that this particular film was given the presidential seal of approval by Woodrow Wilson when he gave the official viewing of this movie in the White House. And what he stated was that this film was written with lightning, and that his only regret was that it was so terribly true. When you get a presidential endorsement of an obvious distortion of history, it gave the green light for the false depiction and the perpetual cycle of white supremacy that we suffer from as African people here in America. That started a lineage of how we would be depicted in movies that continues until this day. So when Woodrow Wilson gave his seal of approval, all throughout the 1800s and 1900s, but in the 1800s in particular, we had great speakers. We had Martin R. Delaney, we had David Walker, we had those that were the prototypes that would later come up through W.E.B. Du Bois and Marcus Garvey. But we had a rich history of achievements of what we did as African people in the 1800s. But with a movie like Birth of a Nation, it's literally split into two parts. To me, I could see the value of the genius of what he offered as a director. I saw the cinematography, I saw the camera angles, and I can understand and I can respect that. But on the flip side, on the second part of that movie, I clearly saw white supremacy being perpetuated, and I saw hatred, and I saw white people in blackface and black people in legislation eating chicken and throwing watermelon, which is totally a distortion and offensive part of the history. So when Rome, New York decides to show this movie on the Confederate month of April, which is not even mentioned in Virginia, but I hear the subtle chuckles of what goes on during highly offensive parts of this movie, I'm not going to say that Rome is keeping the Confederacy alive and well, but I just hope that we can take a part of this movie so that we can understand how offensive it is to a whole bunch of people so that we can all move ahead as the human family. Thank you very much.